happy that you're a next generation role model and you're coming on the show today. And I really want you to talk today and just fill people in about your career. And also we'll get to later about how you're pushing your power and your work towards helping other people, which is incredible. And my first question for you is I'm interested to know when you first wanted to be an actress.
I think I've known deep down my entire life because my mum used to teach drama in the UK. And so from the age of 4 and younger, I've been around acting and I've been around people reading monologues and I've been around LAMDA. And so I've just, which for people who don't know, that's the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. And I've been around it so much that I realized, well, when I learned that I could play and be whoever I wanted to be as a career, I was like, well, that's what I want to do.
So it didn't put you off? Because
No, I loved it. I wanted to be able to try everything, and acting really gives you that ability.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. It's a beautiful thing to be able to sit in the shoes of a completely different character and be someone else. It's such an amazing...
Absolutely.
And you started out in children's TV. Tell us a bit about that in the UK.
Yeah, I did. I started out on a channel called CBeebies in a show called The Green Balloon Club, where my character was called Lily Rose. A fun fact, I actually got to pick my character name at the age of 4. They said, "What do you want to be called?" And I said Lily Rose, and so that became my name. Right. That was a show that taught kids about recycling and helping the planet, and I learned a lot from that at that age. As at that young age, you really absorb everything. So I was learning everything on set. And then kind of from there, I was fortunate enough that my acting career sort of dominoed. I just kept booking things. I think being the little British girl had something going for me when I came out here. And I kept booking things, and then flash forward to where we are today.
Absolutely. But I'm going to say in between then, you booked an incredible role on Once Upon a Time. People obviously know you from that role, and they'll be very excited to have you here today and to be able to perhaps later ask you a few questions. But obviously working for Disney and being in, you know, that environment with those people and working for that company, just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, Once Upon a Time really kind of was my biggest, more leading role to date at the time. And it's one of my favorite shows and still is. And so I was very, very fortunate to be on the show and to meet my favorite cast and my favorite actors. And then to kind of see how everything progressed after that, going to the social media front. Like, my following jumped up the day that happened, and I was panicking. I thought I'd accidentally released something, and then it had actually come out, and I was like, but that was an incredible moment. And I'm very, very fortunate to have all the followers that I do from the Once Upon a Time fandom, because they are very, very supportive and they're incredible people. And I really make sure that I talk to as many of them as I can, because I like to treat people that I know and that I don't know the same way, like they're my equals and like I've known them for years, because a smile and just a little bit of happiness can go a long way in someone's life.
Absolutely, yeah. So you're growing your fan base, and it's become substantial, obviously, as you were saying, over the years, progressing on what you're doing, because you're not only doing acting, you're also doing your singing, and you brought out just recently an EP, I know, which is called Painless.
Yes, and, my acoustic.
Yeah, and you've got some really great videos of you singing on your page as well. So it's a really nice thing, because it shows that you have such an all-around talent, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about what you want to use your social media for.
Well, I like using my social media for lots of different things. One thing is I try and be as honest as I can on my page. I like showing myself without makeup, and I like showing myself in my sweats, and I like showing myself eating food. Like, I'm very, very casual in that way, because it's the way we really are. And so it's all well and good getting dressed up for red carpets, like, you understand. But then I love being able to say, hey, I'm so excited to take my makeup off at the end of the day and just get into bed and have some noodles in front of Grey's Anatomy. And I love just being honest like that. Another way I love using my page is to show my music, because singing is one of my favorite things to do. I'm playing guitar, I'm playing ukulele, and I set up my ring light, which I'm currently using right now, and I just record myself. Yes, I got to love the ring light. And so I just sing, and it's really a great way to let my heart out and kind of show another side of me. And so I appreciate that everyone doesn't judge too harshly.
Well, we love your singing. We love
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. And you can check out Isabella's singing on Spotify, because I noticed that you have all your songs up there on Spotify.
I do. I have a single and 2 EPs, and exciting, I am working on new music at the moment as well while we're in quarantine.
Good. Go follow Isabella on Spotify right now, so you can see all of her latest songs, and obviously your writing as well. And tell me where you get some of your inspiration for your songs from.
Yeah, lots of different places, actually. I think it's funny to look back at the first song I ever wrote, which was a song about the weather, because I was about the age of 9 and I hadn't really been through anything that caused an emotion to write a song other than being really happy. And then certain things happened in my life kind of a few years after that sort of gave me some new feelings that I hadn't really felt before. There was a lot of frustration, there was actually some anger, and so that's great motivation to write music, and it was a great outlet for me. And originally when I started writing, there wasn't really a thought in my mind about recording and releasing it. It was just a release for me. And so sort of a few years later, my mum said, you should release these songs. And I did. But looking at how everyone's been receiving it, and people have said how much they can relate to the feelings in a song, I really appreciate that, because that's same with acting. It's the goal of any performer and entertainer, is making sure that people can relate to you. I think working on my songs, I have the scenarios in my head of why I'm writing them, but really I like coming from just the feeling, because everyone can relate to a feeling and not necessarily a situation. So it's a feeling of love. I've got a lot of love songs in my songbook at the moment. A feeling of happiness, a feeling of sadness, a feeling of feeling lost, because we've all gone through those things. And I love that people can relate to that like I can.
That's great. That's amazing. Yeah. And we have so many people joining us on the show, and a lot of the people who join here are also next generation role models. And a lot of the point of the show is bringing people together of a community to support each other. And I'm very interested to know about what kind of advice you could give for kids who are starting out, and what advice specifically about Hollywood too.
Oh, that's a tough one. Those are two separate things. Hollywood is another world in itself. I think just as an in general thing, starting out, I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's really staying true to who you want to be, first of all, because if you have this image in your mind of what you think, quote unquote, success is or fame, it's going to only work against you, because that whatever you expect, that's actually not how it's going to be. Like, expectations of what people think, what I think Hollywood was, what I thought Hollywood was, is so different when you're actually in it, because it's behind the scenes and it's everything that they don't show on camera. And so when you're starting out, it's really making sure that you can stay true to who you want to be. I suggest writing it down, and so that you know in the future, I want to make sure I stay humble, I want to make sure I stay kind. It could even be something as I want to make sure I eat as much food at red carpet parties as I can. Anything that you want, just to keep yourself grounded and take yourself back that moment when you were starting. Other things, I'd say just get yourself out there. There's so many platforms now, especially with social media, that give you the ability to put yourself out there in a way that we haven't been able to in the past. I mean, even me growing up, there wasn't social media, and it wasn't a big part of our life until a couple of years ago. But now there's Instagram Live, like we are now. There's IGTV, there's YouTube, there's Facebook Watch, there's Facebook Live. There's so many ways. So if you're just putting your best stuff out there and submitting yourself for things, that's the best way to start.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. And just tell me a little bit about representation and agents and managers. Do you think that's something that people really do need?
I mean, it depends what your end goal is, because if your end goal is Universal projects, Disney projects, Marvel, Paramount, all of these, then yes, you do in the long run need an agent and or a manager, because they can really help get you in front of casting directors and execs of the big companies. But if your goal is just to do local theatre or college projects, no, then you don't really need representation. You can go and submit yourself for that, and you can meet people and just do it through networking. So in the long run, it really does just depend on what your end goal is.
Absolutely, yeah. And part of the reason I created this community is because I know there's so much talent out there, and it's such a challenging career, because there tends to have a lot of negativity associated with it, whether it's jealousy or whether it's just negativity in general, about criticism about what you're doing. And it's also a tough career because there is so much rejection. And having obviously been in Hollywood a long time and experienced that myself, I wanted to help others to be able to cope with that. And I'm interested to know what kind of advice you would give on dealing with any kind of negativity that comes up in the industry.
Yeah, like you said, there's definitely a lot of it. I mean, we're in an industry where it's literally our jobs to be judged. When you watch a movie, I mean, we all do it when we watch things, is, oh, you might like it, you might not. And I think I tell people that when you're watching something, what one person likes isn't necessarily the same what somebody else likes or what you like. It's like eating spicy food. I really do not like spicy food, but somebody else does, and that's not to say that the food we're eating isn't exceptional. It's just not my taste. It's the same with movies and TV. So when someone, quote unquote, rejects you, or if you don't book an audition, it's not about you. It's really about the other people. And it's like when they say in a movie, when someone breaks up, it's not you, it's me. In that case, it really is. It's not you, it's them, because it's just their opinion. It's just what they like. It's just what they're looking for. And it's completely out of our control. So my best piece of advice is don't let it affect you. And that's not to say it won't, because it will. It still affects me in certain things, but try your best to not let it affect you and just move on to the next thing.
Absolutely. And you talked earlier in the interview about how staying true to yourself is really important, and also the necessity of writing things down, of goals you want to achieve. Tell me a little bit of where you see yourself in 10 years' time.
Oh, 10 years. I'll be 27, nearly 28. Oh, that's far away. 10 years.
It's not. It goes so far.
No, I know. That's the scary thing. That's the scariest part, is that it'll be over like that. 10 years. I think, is it too much to say running Sony? No. I think I definitely want to be running a big entertainment company. That's definitely a big goal of mine. Being CEO or creative director or in charge of the projects that come in. I would just want to be running a big department or the company itself. I'm working with our production company, Mother and Daughter Entertainment, to make sure that we're really working on projects that are meaningful to the world. So I'm hoping that over the next 10 years, the projects we are making get bigger and bigger, and they can really go out to more people so that they are affecting people. Our slogan is making content that matters, and that is really important to me.
Absolutely. And that's actually how you and I got to know each other, because I was lucky enough to be able to work with you, not in terms of on set as an actress, but we were working on set together. Yes. Can you talk a little bit about that company and what it is that you guys are achieving there?
Mother and Daughter Entertainment. It is exactly how it sounds, a mother and a daughter. My mum and I started it a couple of years ago because we were making projects together, and we thought, oh, let's put a name on this. Let's make it a production company, and let's keep making things together because we have so much fun. And then I think as it's progressed, we have another mother and daughter duo on our team, Chandler and Taryn Kinney, and they are fabulous mother and daughter duo, and so we work very closely with them with the projects as well that we do. Mother and Daughter Entertainment does mean a lot to me because it's female empowerment, it's strong women, it's showing girls anywhere of any age that you can do things you set your mind to, especially now, like I say about social media. You have the ability to create things like our Mother and Daughter website. I built that. Now we have someone else update it for us, but I built it because there's ability to go online and do the things you want to do and set your mind to it. And so it's going back to making content that matters. It's in every aspect of the production company, not just with the films we make.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I can just vouch for the fact that it's a fabulous team, and yeah, definitely just going for your goals and achieving them. And it's amazing to watch you, your mum, and Taylor and everyone just bound together and bring people on board and just go for it and get it done. It's really it really was incredible, and I felt really lucky to be working with you all and having the opportunity to be a part of that.
Oh, well, we were very happy that you could join us.
Thank you. Well, I want to talk, because we're on the Next Generation Role Model show, I want to talk about role models. I would love to know who your role model is, Isabella, and if you met your role model, what would you do with them?
Well, there's role model for me is an interesting term because if you break it down, it's someone that you look up to, that you admire, that influences your life. And for me, actually, it's my mum. And I know that kind of sounds a bit like a cliche, but she's my best friend, and she really is my role model because she's gone through and done so much to be where she is today, and for me to be where I am today. And if she hadn't, I can guarantee that I wouldn't be where I am and wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So she very much is my role model, and I'm just very grateful that she supports me in all of my crazy endeavors.
And she is amazing. She's an amazing
She
mom.
is.
She's also an incredible director and producer. And I know she's working on so many projects now, including Project Phoenix, which I know you're both involved in to help people in the entertainment industry during this time of lockdown, which I think is amazing. That nicely leads us into charity work, because I know that this is something that's very important to you along the way to also help others. Which is obviously part of the reason you're on the show today as well, is that you use your talents and your celebrity to push power to other people, which is needed. And I'd love to know today about the charity that's most important to you right now, and what you're up to with them.
Well, actually, a charity that I'm an ambassador for, which I'm very, very honored to be an ambassador for, is called Awareness Ties. I'm the ambassador for suicide awareness. It's definitely very close to home. I've had multiple friends over the past few years actually commit suicide, so it is very, very close to home. And I am honored that they wanted me to be the ambassador to really raise awareness for it. Awareness Ties is fantastic because it's not just one focus that they're raising awareness for, it's lots of different things. So, for example, my mum Elizabeth is the ambassador for awareness for human trafficking. And that's a very serious subject that she does talk about when she's talking about the organization. But for me specifically, Awareness Ties is very powerful, and they talk a lot about their specific subjects, and they're very focused on that. And I love that I can be honest with everyone when I'm talking about mental health and suicide awareness. I don't talk about it all the time because my page is honestly me, and I am a very, very happy person. I'm very fortunate to be so happy. I have a fabulous life, and I'm very, very fortunate. It's taken a lot of work to get to where I am, but I'm very, very lucky to be here. But when I do talk about mental health, I did a video a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of lockdown, because it's very tough to be kind of on your own and not being able to go out anywhere. And I understand that, and I wanted to tell people that I understood that, to make sure that they know that they're not alone. And actually, if you're not okay, that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's fantastic. What is the website that people can go on to support that charity?
Awareness Ties, actually, let me pull it up. I want to see if it's .org or not. I have my laptop here. Awareness Ties. It is awarenessties.us. Ties spelled like TIES.
TIES. Awareness Ties. .us.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So go to awarenessties.us and support them. That's Isabella's charity. And is there anything you wanted to say on the show today, just to wrap up?
Well, like I said, everyone can look forward to new music coming out this year. We're working hard on that, writing as well. So there'll be also new things that I'm working on my Instagram. What else? Secret Society of Second Born Royals for Disney Plus will be out soon. So I'm very, very excited about that. I can't say much, but I'm very, very excited for everyone to watch that. So keep an eye out on Disney Plus. What else? Mother and Daughter Entertainment is working on lots of projects, especially Project Phoenix at the moment. So go and check that out on our website, motheranddaughterenT.com. All the information is up there. But I always say to people, message me, contact me, comment on my photos, let's chat, because I love talking to everyone that follows my journey, and I'm so appreciative to all of my followers and fans and supporters.
Absolutely. So please follow Isabella on Instagram. As she said, she loves talking to people, and I'm sure if there's any advice that you guys need, and she'll be more than happy to answer any questions via DM. And if there's any help or advice you need, just let her know. And thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Yay, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we love you. We love you. I'm so excited to keep following your career. We're all going to follow your career now. And we're very excited for new projects to come out. And make sure that you go on Spotify and you follow Isabella and listen to her music.
Yes, on repeat, on loop.
On repeat, on loop, absolutely. Okay, so big hug and give my love to your mum, and we will see each other soon.
Absolutely perfect. Mwah, sending lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.